Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. A man named Hal has a dysfunctional family, including his wife, Laura, and son Gabe. Gabe is talking rudely to his mother, and they start to argue. Hal is scared of his wife. He is watching all of this from a gap in the door. He closes the door and goes into the room. Hal is a collector of retro video games, which often become the basis of fights in their family. He has a craze about playing the games, and has received a copy of an interactive fiction computer game, called Cursor, Reality is Cursed. The game starts to automatically play on his PC, and he starts to receive levels that he has to pass. In the first level, he is asked if he is worthy of winning the prize, and he is told that he cannot quit. He does not answer the question, and starts to drink beer, then puts the bottle on the table. The game tells him that he has just put the beer bottle on the table, and asks if he wants another drink. Hal types yes in response, and another bottle appears on the table. Hal gets surprised by this. He picks up the bottle, and sees that, "Behind you," is written on it. He looks back, but there is no one there. He turns his head, and the words have changed to, "Fooled you." The game then asks him, "Light on or off?" He replies off, and the light of the room goes out. Things were pretty normal till now, but the game takes a darker turn. It asks him what he wants, his son's tongue or his wife's ears. He does not reply to this, and starts feeling weird. Realizing that the game is messing with reality, he tries to shut the game, but the game asks him, "Choose or die." He tries to leave without answering, but he suddenly hears loud voices that cause him pain. He gets on his knees, covering both ears with his hands. He goes outside the room, and sees that his wife is holding a bloody knife, and blood is flowing from Gabe's mouth. Hal is shocked to see that Laura has actually cut off Gabe's tongue, but she has no idea how it happened. The screen of the computer reads, "Level 1 completed." This game messes with reality, and manipulates people into completing its levels. 3 months later, a girl named Kayla, who is working as a cleaner to pay for her studies, is exiting the company after completing her night shift. She works in a company named Kismet. Due to some reason, Kayla gets into an argument with the supervisor, who does not respect any employee, and asks her to not come to work that night. Kayla provides new and old technology to her computer geek friend, Isaac, who in return helps her learn to code, so that she can gain sufficient skills for her classes. She goes to meet Isaac, who is a programmer and game developer. She also has an interest in programming, but can't follow her passion due to her problems. But she is really good at fixing things. Isaac has bought some old junk, and Kayla starts to check it, discovering the Cursor game in the junk. On the cover there is a mention of an offering of $125,000 prize, along with a phone number. She is shocked, and wonders how can someone pay such a handsome amount for beating this old retro game. She calls the number, and receives a recorded message from the terror director, telling her to complete the game, and insert the number code at the end of it to win the money. Attracted by the offer, Kayla accepts the challenge, thinking it will be easy money, and arranges a deal with Isaac to beat the game together and share the prize. She takes the game and leaves with it to go home. Her mother Thea is very sick, and her dad is no more. This is the reason that Kayla has to work at night. Later, she is on duty, where she chats with another girl about how they have been cleaning the floor for a long time, but surprisingly no one lives there. Kayla leaves work early, and she gets to a cafe, and starts the Cursor game on her laptop. She also texts Isaac to invite him, but he is busy with his work, and is unable to reply. Cafe's waiter comes and asks her to place an order, or else the owner of the cafe, who is sleeping nearby, might kick her out. Kayla asks her for a minute. On the laptop the game has started, and she is asked if she is worthy of winning the prize money. The game then asks her if she wants a coffee or cake. Kayla looks at the menu card, and all the options are changed to only coffee or cake. She types coffee in the game, and the waiter comes there and pours her a cup of coffee. Kayla gets surprised by seeing this. She sees that whatever the waiter says already appears on the laptop screen, even before she says it. The game asks her if she wants to take a break, and she closes the laptop without answering. Suddenly her surroundings get filled with mist, and a boy named Ricky appears in front of her, and says, "Choose or die." She gets scared by watching this, and types yes. Suddenly the waiter starts to break all the glasses in the cafe. The game asks her if the waiter should continue breaking the glasses, or should clean them. Kayla chooses clean, and the waiter starts to eat the pieces of glass, and starts to bleed from her mouth. Kayla quickly runs toward her to stop her, but suddenly the owner of the cafe gets up, and starts to scream strangely. She pushes him, and goes near the waitress. On the screen of the computer, the words appear, "Level 1 completed." The game level ends, with a waitress eating broken glass and dying. The next day, she wakes up and sees that a police officer is at her house, investigating her mom. The policeman is inquiring about the incident at the cafe. From her chat with her mother, we learn that the boy Rick she saw in her vision last night was her brother, who died some time ago by drowning in a pool. Thea had become a drug addict after the death of her son Ricky. Kayla tries to stop the game by destroying the tape. She tells Isaac what happened, but he finds her story hard to believe. She asks him where he got the game, but he has no idea. He says that he will look into the matter. She gets to her work, and starts to work the night shift. At 2 o'clock in the night, she gets a call from her mom, who says that rats are coming out of the walls, and are attacking her. There is a PC on the floor, and the cursor game starts to play on it automatically. Kayla discovers that Cursor has managed to escape to the net, and is following her. Kayla goes near the PC, and sees that the level 2 of the game has started. In level 2, she has to save a character from rats. The character is none other than her mom. She also starts to hear her mother's cries for help. The game gives her 2 options, and asks her to proceed. She asks her mom to jump from the window, who does so to save herself, and level 2 gets completed. The game tells her that they will meet tomorrow at the same time. She gets angry, and starts to break the PC, when the supervisor gets there, and fires her from the job. Thea eventually falls from her bedroom window, and severely injured, ends up in a hospital. Kayla visits her mom in the hospital. Thea starts to question her about Ricky, but she does not share her problem with her. Kayla gets home, and sees that rats have destroyed her house. The rent collector, Lance, gets there, and says that the owner, who had a bad eye on Kayla, will kick them out. Later that night, Kayla goes to Isaac's apartment, and asks him to believe her story. She shows him some pics of her broken house, and together they try to discover the mystery behind the game. They find a sort of code in the sounds of Cursor, in an unknown language, and theorize that it is what allows the game to interact with the real world. Together they manage to survive the night, after the game exploits Kayla's trauma over the death of her brother, who drowned in a public pool. Isaac and Kayla hack the prize number to a storage facility, where the game was created. In recording sessions of the making of the game, they discover that the creator, Beck, found a curse in different symbols, and embedded the codes into the game, to gain benefits by using the suffering of gamers. When they discover the code needed, the game traps Isaac, and forces Kayla to choose in order to save him, but ends up killing him nonetheless. The game orders Kayla to beat the boss, and gives her a set of coordinates to follow, that lead her to Hal's house, a cruel man who tortures his wife Laura, and son Gabe. Hal explains that he never ended the game, and after 2 levels it promised to leave them alone, if he made more copies of it. The game then orders both Kayla and Hal to fight, while reversing the pain each experience. That is, if Hal is hurt, Kayla feels it, and if Kayla is hurt, Hal feels it. An intense fight ensues, during which Hal is drowned, and Kayla barely manages to survive. Kayla receives the game prize, which enables her to take total control of the curse. She uses this ability to kill Lance, which heals both herself and her mother. It is then revealed that the building in which Kayla worked is owned by Beck, who asks her who should be next to suffer. Kayla answers that it will be only the ones who deserve to. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications and leave a like to help the channel out.